Hello, welcome back to the Cascade Industrial Park YouTube channel. I want to give a big shout out. We've hit over 300 subscribers, and that's amazing. I never even imagined going that far when I started this channel, and to see your guys' support, your likes, your comments, it's amazing. So here's the road to 1,000. So do me a favor, if you're watching this for the first time, give me a subscribe, give it a like, give it a comment. Go watch some of my other videos. But what I wanted to do today is give a tour for the newcomers. I put a tour out, that was my first video, and I haven't done that since. So today we're going to do a proper tour. You see the layout behind me, you see my desk. So without further ado, let's turn the camera around and show you what's going on. Alright, so starting at the beginning of section 1 here, this is the lumber yard. The way this is set up is you only see part of the lumber yard on the layout, and you have to imagine that the rest of it is off layout. And then behind it we have a warehouse. I have yet to name any of these buildings, and I've kind of just been running ops with no name, no nothing. So as I get further into the build, we'll figure out names, figure out what they're doing. But I recently did some graffiti. You can see there. All of section 1 is pretty much 100% scenic, meaning the ground cover is pretty much done, and it's just details that need to be added. And my 2 around the layout stickers. So this, let's get a pointer here. I originally had the typical drywall putty as the concrete. I did away with that 100%, and I went with styrene, painted, and then sealed with a clear coat. And you can either use a clear coat or Mod Podge as your sealer. And that middle section right there is actually sealed with Mod Podge. You can see we have a switch machine at every switch. These are non-operational. These are just for aesthetics. It just adds that extra bit of detail. We have a derailer for this industry here. These are custom made using the blueprints from Boomer Dioramas. We have another derailer here for the lumber yard, as well as a derail sign. Now you can get these from Scale Signs. They're a relatively new company. They've been out for a while, but I just recently discovered them through my hobby shop. And here we have another Scale Signs railroad crossing and faded stop sign. He's got tons of options. You can buy everything brand new or weathered. He's got tons of options for what you're looking for. All right, so right here we have a grade crossing into this pit here. This will eventually be a maintenance of way little area, some extra ties, track, etc. And right now it's just parking for other vehicles. And then you should be able to see back there, there is another switch machine. All right, and as we move down, now all of section 1 has switch machines. Section 2, I have not gotten that far yet. I'm only maybe 20% into section 2, so I'm not worried about it at this time. Here we have my NCE plugin right here. This is a holder I made out of balsa wood. So if you're just looking for a cheap project to do, 10-15 minutes, you just measure out and build your holder. This will eventually be a switch between DCC and DC. If I have guests over who have DC locomotives, I'll be able to switch it over to DC and they can run their trains. So right here we have the team track. Originally this concrete pad went all the way out to here, but I shortened it. We also had issues with it where it was too close to the track, so I brought it out by notching out the fascia here and putting it flush, as you can see there. Behind the team track we have an abandoned rail that they decided to just never do anything with, and it was going to be too costly to rip up. All right, and this big warehouse is a transfer facility. I know that. That's what I built it as. On the other side of the building, you would have trucks lined up ready to load product and get out. All right, over here we have the scrapyard. Many who have been following know that this has gone through extensive upgrades and expansion. You can see here there was a switch. I ripped out the one rail, left the other, weathered everything, and I made everything overgrown. So the story behind this is that there was an industry that was planned. The investors backed out. With no use for that rail, they sold the land to the scrapyard, and the scrapyard expanded. I recently did the graffiti on the fence here. Here we have the propane terminal. This concrete right here is also styrene. This building right here, or structure, this is the loading rack. This is 100% scratch built out of evergreen styrene. And where you see those two tubes up there that are straight, that's where the lighting will be. They will come through there, and there'll be two lights. Let me get my pointer. There'll be two lights, one here and one right there underneath the roof here. And then we have this building back here. This I built, I already know the name of. This is Coastal Creations. This is a nautical themed furniture company. It's going to expand all the way back. This is going to be a part of it, and I will do some sort of photo thing in here to conjoin the two. This you can see that there's a bend. There's a window here, and this is the window frame, and I had to go from flat wall to window frame, and that's why there's this angle here. I did that by just cutting a slit in the hardboard or fascia material and just pushing it, and then using drywall putty. And there's the window. And so moving forward here, this track right here, this is our yard lead. It leads to a double right here. So this first track, this is outbound, and this is inbound. And what I have planned here is, I went over that in a previous video. Another pretty much simple design as the lumber yard. We are going to imagine that the rest of the yard is off layout, and eventually I will do a photo backdrop of a small yard to make it appear bigger. You can see here we actually have 2 thrall door boxcars that need to go to the lumber yard on the inbound track. And so as I'm doing ops, anything I take from an industry will go on the outbound, and our yard switcher will move them. And that rail in the back there, this is just going to be a dead rail. That yard switcher is actually a dummy locomotive, so there will be no reason to have this rail powered. It's going to go all the way to the backboard here, and with the plan that I'm going to have a forest type scene here that will hide the rail, and it will appear as it keeps going and connects to the main yard. These lines right here, I have yet to determine what I want to do with yet. I'm not even anywhere near doing anything with them anyway, so I have plenty of time to plan what I'm going to do. That's pretty much it. And then also this is where I watch my TV as I'm working on stuff. You can see I'm watching the Amherst Railroad Hobby Show. Shout out to Jay. I'll link you in the description. This is my desk here. It's all my supplies. One quick thing I want to talk about this. These 3 boxes here, you get these from the dollar store. And what I like about this is when I'm working on something, I have a habit of I grab a tool and it just ends up in the pile in the way, or I'll cover it with a napkin or something, and I search 10 minutes for it and it's been in front of my face the whole time. This eliminates that 100%. I know where everything is in these 3 boxes at all times. You can see how I have it set it up here. One is screwdrivers, my nippers, pliers, tweezers. The next one is hobby knives, pencils, markers, and then I have my rail cutters and scissors in here. And it's very easy for me to just put things or throw them back in the box, and I know where they are the entire project. I know it's very easy to just grab a tool when you're working on something and just it ends up in the mess you have going on. So this eliminates that. And if any of you know the franchise Fallout, I'm a big gamer guy, and Fallout is one of my favorite games. This is from that game, and this actually houses my pin vise. But this is my desk. This is where everything gets worked on, fixed, upgraded. Paints, paintbrushes, all sorts of stuff in there. That's pretty much it.